Welcome to Stewart Spotlight Podcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Stewart Spotlight Podcast. My name is William Stewart Jr. and I am your host this evening. I apologize for coming on a little bit late. We had some internet connection problems, but we are live as we speak. I hope everyone had a wonderful week and getting ready for the weekend. And I want, in order to make us Stewart Spotlight successful, I need your support. I need your support by liking, subscribe, and share. Share with your family, friends, and neighbors, and have them to share it as well to their family, friends, and neighbors. Last week we had Anthony D. Owens on, but he was representing his brother, Robert Matumi Owens, who is a recording artist, and I would advise you to look at the video last week that we taped. We have a very special guest on today, and let me give you a little history about Rochelle. Rochelle, my guest this evening is a friend of mine who I've known for over 16 years, Dr. Rochelle Robinson Duke, a full-time professor that teach English at Olive Harvey College, one of the city colleges of Chicago. She was named the Distinguished Professor in 2012 to 2013. During her career, Rochelle work has been published in several journals. Just to name a few: African American Review, Atlanta Review, Carolina Quarterly Review, Hampton Stone Review. That's just to name a few. And she also is the vice president of the City Colleges Division for CCCTU Local 1600. If you don't know what CCCTU means, it is Cook County College Teachers Union. Without further ado, let's welcome my friend, Dr. Rochelle Robinson Dukes. Dr. Dukes, how are you?
Hello, Mr. William Stewart Jr. How are you?
I am doing just great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Midterm grades in. I'm free for 9 days. I cannot wait.
Oh, that's even wonderful. I'm just making some corrections over here. I'm sorry, because something went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
How's the family?
Family's great. Son turns 18 this Sunday. Hopefully we can ship him off to college. He's accepted 3 of his 10 colleges, waiting to hear from the other 7. And then I just want to write the check and travel. Write the check and travel.
But you have a lot going on for yourself right now.
I do. But, I think keeping busy is how you stay young. You got to have your mind active, and you always keep moving. If you don't use it, it won't work.
I truly understand. I remember, I'll give you a little story. When we went to the Braves game, if you remember that?
Oh,
me, you, and your son Scotty. And what was so interesting, it was the Braves tomahawk, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember when your son stood up and he started doing this. I couldn't believe what I was doing as well. I was up there doing it.
Yeah. We had to have a conversation later on about Native Americans and how that's inappropriate.
Oh, okay. So now what's inappropriate?
Inappropriate.
Okay. Well, it was fun while when we was there.
Oh yes. I recall.
Okay. So let's dig deep into you a little bit, Dr. Dukes. You mind if I call you Rochelle?
Yes, you knew me when I was Rochelle, so yes, you may call me when I Rochelle. That's what you
Okay,
know me
I
by.
appreciate that, Rochelle. So, what are some of your hobbies?
Writing poetry,
Mm-hmm.
running.
Mm-hmm.
Took up golf when I turned 50. I'm not good at it yet,
Okay.
and I like reading, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to teach, how to comprehend, and travel. I love travel. I try to leave town at least once every 3 months, and I try to get out the country at least once a year. But it's been a while with the pandemic, so.
So, who are some of your mentors growing up?
Oh, my fourth through sixth grade teacher, Miss Virginia Brown, my mother,
Hmm.
uh, my grandmother, who came from Greenwood, Mississippi, went on a high school education and was able to purchase 2 pieces of property and live well and retire from Campbell Soup Company after 25 years of service. That used to be on 35th Street.
Okay.
Um, Oh, well, of course, Coretta Scott King, all of the artists that paved the way, the Harlem Renaissance writers, the Black arts poets. Those are pretty much our heroes because they pretty much gave our perspective and added our voices into the American culture.
So, what made you pick education as your career path?
My career path was actually English,
Oh.
and I chose English. And my mother told me when I was young, because she was a school teacher for 32 years, she told me to avoid politics and avoid education. What do?
Go into
I go
education.
start teaching at city colleges, and I become VP of a union. So
So
I
now,
did the exact opposite of what I was taught. But
so now,
I
how
enjoy reading, so I thought, teaching it would be a good way to tap into what I enjoy.
how long you been working at the city colleges?
I worked five years part-time, but officially I started full-time as a tenure track professor in August of 1996,
So, when did you receive your tenure?
2000.
Oh, so now when you received your tenure, then you went back to school.
Yes, I went back to school, and I think you know the story because you were part of the when we had our big battle. But
Right.
I went back to school after the second president of our union sold us out and retired in July, and then gave away all of our retirement days that we could have cashed out. So he cashed out his days, and then he retired and gave away all of ours. And I decided, oh, I can't trust this man. I need to go back and get another degree in case I have to go teach at a 4 year. This is not working out for me.
Okay, so you went back and you received your doctoral degree.
Yeah, I went back when I was 40.
40 plus.
Yeah,
40 plus.
45, 46. Yeah.
Okay. And what was your I can't even say the word right now. Dissertation.
Dissertation.
Right.
My dissertation actually was on union leadership. My dissertation's title is Pathways to Union Leadership in Higher Education Unions, because I realized in the state of Illinois at the time, there were only 7 women in the state who ran higher education unions
Mm-hmm.
for colleges and universities. All the others were men. There were a lot of women who ran primary education, K through 12, but there were only 7 in the state, and only 5 had negotiated a contract. So I realized, oh, there's a dearth of women being elevated in unions in higher education. And so
Okay.
that's what I wrote my topic on.
So basically, as you stated, that you had to go back to school to get your doctoral because you didn't know where the city colleges was going at that particular.
I didn't know. Once your leader does something that you don't see coming, unexpected, you have to pivot. As a person in America, person of color, I said, oh, I have to pivot. This is not going to work out for me. So I had to bite the bullet and go back to school.
Okay, so would you encourage? Well, I'm sure you would. How would you encourage someone who wanted their doctoral degree? What's the do's and the don'ts and the pros and the cons and things of that nature?
Well, I always tell my students first day of class, I'm from 68th and King Drive,
Mm-hmm.
Park Mountain. That's the ghetto, from the ghetto. I said, if you can come from the ghetto like I did and matriculate through undergrad, grad school, get a doctorate in your 40s, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always give them this speech, I know drug dealers and doctors. I'm not going to be intimidated up in here. I'm going to be here every day because I have a paycheck and I like living indoors and I like shoes and I like eating. So I tell them, if I can do it, you can do it. I came from the same environment that a lot of my students have come from. And I'm like, it's doable, but you just have to work hard and move forward and not let Satan in the form of haters get you off your square.
Now, you mentioned about food, because I remember several times we used to go to Hyde Park and eat.
Yes,
And I
that's
used
when
to
we had to
love
go get you your special meal. What was your special meal, William, that you loved over at Chant?
duck tacos.
Duck tacos, duck
Tacos. Oh, I
tacos.
love it.
Yes.
I
Every
love it.
time you come to Chicago, we have to go to Chant and get
Right.
some duck
Duck
tacos.
tacos. Right.
They still have them, still on the menu.
Most surely they do. So, what are some of your biggest challenges with your students?
Making them understand that you can't just write one draft and get an A paper. I don't know what you did in high school, but I tell them, I said, you have to do at least 3 to 5 drafts.
Okay.
And so you come in thinking you're just going to do one draft. Well, you haven't done one draft. And what you think is an A is really a C.
Okay.
So when you submit that late, what's that? That's a D all day long. So I'm going to need you to, manage your time better, build in the time for the drafts. I told them, I said, my dissertation had 19 drafts. That's not including the first 6 drafts of the first 2 chapters.
Oh, wow.
So you have to go through writing drafts to become a better writer.
So now, is it that you can read it online or in the library or where?
Oh, yeah. All dissertations are recorded. My dissertation is at GSU, and it's on Google Scholar. You can just Google Scholar, my last name, and you can pop it up and read it for free.
So now, how long did it take you to write it?
Okay, I'm an overachiever because I'm an only child. Okay. So I was in the program, and after this, they suggested no one do it this way. I was in the program for 2 years, 9 months.
Okay.
It's usually a 5-year program, 45 years.
So you was
but I went all year round.
So you was a fast achiever then, huh?
I had to get it out the way. It was, it was burning holes in my pocket, and my crumb snatcher needs his money, so I can't, I can't serve 2 masters.
Okay. So now, tell me something about because you worked at Olive Harvey, and I'm sure that you worked with the administrators. Have you ever had any challenges with the administrators since you're in the English, and then plus you're a union rep?
Well, I mean, we've had people that have been sent to our department when we didn't have a chair, and we had to school them on how the CBA works and what you can and cannot make us do. At my college, not so much, only because, we are blessed with people who are already in the system. So they either worked at another college. Our president was dean of instruction over at your college when you were at
Malcolm X.
Doctor. She just got her doctorate last year.
Okay.
So she got her doctorate late. She and I are about the same age, Dr. Hollingsworth.
Right.
And so we have no problems because she's worked at 5 of the 7 city colleges like I have. She knows the contract. She has a good rapport with the union person. They're both in the same sorority.
Right.
So everything is kind of, evened out there unless you get some problem person. But the other colleges, anytime a VP or president or even a provost, wants to get squirrely, I can always push them right back into their little pockets. Go back into the pocket. Do not let the doctorate fool you. Like I said, I'm from 68th and King Drive.
I spoke with Dr. Hollingsworth, and she's going to come on the show eventually down the road. And
good. I'll tell her. Really... I'll talk to her when I get back from spring break.
Okay, so Rochelle, if you can just hang with us, let's take a little break right quick, and we're going to come back and talk about leadership in the CCCTU union.
Okay.
Hold on. with Stewart Spotlight, and my special guest, Dr. Rochelle Robinson Duke, is in the house. So, Rochelle, now you know you're the vice president of the CCCTU division in Chicago. So I know you got some good scoops on what's going on, and how did you rise up to the level of the vice president?
Well, actually, as you know, when I met you and I were both chapter chairs, and we had the same mentor, Sonia Powell, and Sonia Powell was stepping down, and the chapter chairs voted on me, and I was selected as her replacement. And from then on, I've been trying to continue the good work that she started, trying to work for the members, try to squash squabbles that are at each college, and then, always be firm in the negotiations when we have them for the professionals, faculty, and security.
Yeah, I really miss Sonia because we went way back, and she used to teach me a lot of different things with the union as well. So now, how many members do you actually represent as being the vice president?
How many members?
Yes, how many members?
Oh, in the city, we have about 4,500.
4,500 members.
Yes,
Wow.
and the majority are professionals now. It's mainly professionals, faculty, security.
Right, so it's faculty, professionals, part-time professionals, and security.
Correct. And we just got the tutors from 1 Million Degrees. They negotiated their second contract last year. So we have them now as well.
Okay. So now, you've been the vice president for how many years? 12 years?
12.
12 years. And what were some of the challenges that you faced being the vice president of the CCCTU?
Being a Black woman, and I always tell people, I was Black before I was female, because gender comes later. So I was used to the racism in city colleges in Chicago that I was accustomed to. The sexism, though, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't even think about that as an option now, but now that I'm saying, people don't like to listen to women at all. It's very interesting.
Wow.
So I've had to deal with a lot of men saying things, talking down to me. And when I did my dissertation, I interviewed, my dissertation was qualitative. So I interviewed 5 of those 7 women who were running unions.
Okay.
1 was a white woman, 2 were Black women. 1 was Jewish, and the one that was stepped down was Latino. But when I talked to them, they all, except for the white woman who had her doctorate and was the union rep for U of I Chicago, except for her and the one at Northeastern, all of them said in their testimonies that them being women of color and being women, they got overlooked. And I think because the white women had already worked in the industry, like they worked in architecture, they'd worked in public planning. So they had already gotten their reputation as one of the only women in the room. So when they came into education, they had that with them. I just went straight into education.
Okay, so now how many African Americans that's in your position? Because there's other unions. You have the suburban and what else?
We have the suburban and the classified. There is one Black man who is the chapter. He is the VP for the suburban faculty, and I believe he was the first one. He was the first Black person to get that job. And our union is over 55 years old.
Is that Devin?
We only had 4 presidents. They've all been white men.
Was that Devin?
Delwyn.
Yeah. Okay, Delwyn. Okay.
So he's the only Black person that's a VP other than myself, and he is just over faculty. I'm over faculty, security, and professionals. So he is a smaller pool.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, throughout the state now, there's only one, because one of the women I interviewed, she got voted out. And so there's only one Black female president of a union, and that union is the clerical union, 1708. Dolores
Withers.
Dolores.
Okay, right. Okay.
That's it.
Oh, okay. So now how do you balance? How do you juggle? Because you're teaching, you're the vice president of the union, you have your family, you have your own personal time. How do you juggle all these things?
I always make time for me. So in the morning, it's going to be some T.D. Jakes or some Joel Osteen with some religious music in the background. And I make sure I give myself an hour and a half to a 2-hour walk every day, come rain or shine. So if it's snowing out, I'm going to do it in the college. If it's not snowing out, I'll do it in the rain. But I
Oh,
make sure I give
wow.
myself an hour and a half to 2 hours of just quiet time with me and nature. And I'm listening to my religious music when
Okay.
I'm walking. So
Okay.
I got to chisel out that time for myself. I have monthly massages, monthly pedicures. And now that my son is going away to school, I plan on traveling every 3 months. Every 3 months, you may see more of me. Every 3 months, I'm going to be in another state, in another time zone, doing something different.
Okay. Would you ever consider going to administration?
No.
Okay. I guess that was a quick answer.
No, it's the hours. It wouldn't be worth it. I can make the money teaching and still have my time.
Okay.
So no, I don't need that title. I don't want to be in charge of the little minutia that they do. I like being in the trenches teaching. I like telling my students, when you get out of here, you're going to be able to go to Howard or to Harvard. That's my goal. I want my people to have what they deserve.
Great. Great. So now, once you retire, whenever you retire, what is your
Mhm.
what are your plans? I know you like to travel.
Yes.
So
I'm probably going to move somewhere that is not a city. I'm probably going to move either to someplace outside of Quebec, Canada, or someplace on the East Coast, like in New York countryside or Pennsylvania countryside or Massachusetts countryside. I like that small town living now that I've spent 54, almost 55 years in the city.
now, isn't part of New York is kind of cold there too?
Yes, that's why I have all the training here. I'll be able to handle the
Well,
monthly snowstorms that they like to
well, you
have
can handle that.
up the I-95 corridor. Yeah.
If you can handle that 4 or 5 feet snow, we can handle anything.
Right, right. I'll be in the house. Right, right.
So, do you? How would you encourage some of your students if they wanted to go into teaching, or would you encourage
I,
them to go into teaching, or would you encourage them to do something else?
I would never encourage them to go into teaching until the United States and all countries like the United States invested in education. The
Hmm.
money that we give to doctors, we need to give to people who are taking care of our kids. Okay. We wrote big checks when we were putting him through daycare.
Okay.
I had to look at the place and make sure it was NACE accredited. I mean, it can be in Big Mama's basement, but Big Mama better have NACE accreditation or I'm not leaving my kids there. So I wouldn't suggest to go in education until we raise the standard on what we think about the average child's education. But I would tell them whatever you do, as you matriculate through different systems, be it undergrad, grad, doctoral, medical school, whatever, get you a set of friends, like a study cohort,
Okay.
and get you a mentor if you can at every level. I have a friend from every level of education I've gone through: grammar school, middle college,
Oh wow.
high school. I got two friends from all the way up through grad school. It wasn't until grad school I got one friend and another friend. So you got to have a friend because there are times you're going to miss a class and you're going to need some notes. Or there are times that you're going to want to quit because they're going to make you want to quit.
Quit
And you're going to have to say, no, I need somebody to tell me I'm not quitting.
and just continue to push on.
And just you got to push on. God
Right.
is always on the throne. You got to keep it moving.
Right.
He got us through slavery. What are we talking
I
about?
totally agree with you on that. So my final note. Now, I know I skipped over, but do you still go on the conference for the union?
I do. This year, it's in Dallas
Okay.
this year. I was going to try to stay there and go to my sorority boule, but the conference is at the top end of the month and the boule is at the last end. And I'm like, no, I have to do my summer grade. So
Oh, okay.
I'm going for that, the AFT this year. 2 Octobers ago, I went to the one in St. Louis. And that
Hmm.
was the one where I gave that speech. And that's how I got, connected with some of the people who have power in the IFT.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, you tell the union members that I know, hello,
mhm.
because I haven't
I
spoken to
will.
them in such. You see, I'm wearing my Malcolm X
I
card.
see you wearing the Malcolm X
Malcolm
logo. You said I got my 1600 pin on too. I got my 1600 pin on.
Well, Rochelle, Dr. Rochelle Robinson Dukes, I really appreciate you coming on the show, and I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're busy because you're juggling too many different things at one time, and we spoke, and we managed to get this date locked in, and I really appreciate it. And feel free to come back and give us some updates on the education or your union leadership.
Okay, I will. I'll be happy to give you updates. And I just wanted to leave you with a quick little memory of when we
Okay.
were in Merchandise Mart in the bathroom. The eagle
Ah.
has landed. Ah,
Okay, that was an inside joke. People won't
that was
know.
an inside joke. The eagle. When you pay somebody back, you gotta drop bombs. Eagle bombs. Eggs landing.
Miss I can't say your name. Rochelle Robinson Dukes, thanks a lot for coming on, and I'm looking forward to having you back on again.
Thanks for having me here, my brother. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye. That was Dr. Rochelle Robinson Dukes. We used to have a lot of good times being in the union, and we go way, way back. And what a proper way to speak on leadership, because March is the month of women. Perfect roundup. Also, I know he's looking at this. I have a mentor and a friend and a brother from another mother who I really admire, who I used to just lay my burden on him, and he was superb. He has a wealth of knowledge, And I'm trying to convince him to write a book, but eventually he will. But he will be on the show one day. And I'm talking to Ronald D. Gourmet. I know you're listening, Ron. So I'm waiting for you to pick up that phone, and we can make arrangements so you can be on the show. And also, next week, it is Good Friday. And my guest for Good Friday will be the Reverend Courtney Slaughter. He will be here next Friday, and his message on Good Friday will be, well, the goodness of Good Friday. Can't wait for him to be here, and I want to make sure you tune in to watch him. Okay, so far for that. And now it is time for and we are back. We had the trivia question last week, and there were one person who answered the question correctly. The question was, who was the 16th and the 44th president of the United States? And the answer was Abraham Lincoln was the 16th and Barack Obama was the 44th. And the winner for the for the t-shirt is Mark Hudson from Jackson, Mississippi. Congratulations, Mark. We'll be receiving a t-shirt within 5 to 10 business days. And I want to thank you for watching, and make sure you continue to share it with your family and friends, and let them watch the show as well. Now we have a trivia for this week. And you will be able to win this. A Stewart Spotlight t-shirt sponsored by William Stewart. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different this time, because people are a little smart. Because last time I was given the way to answer the question, the way how to answer the question, they was already on it, and before I even announced the question, they submitted. But I'm going to give you the question first, and then tell you how to answer it later. Okay, the question is, what is the capital of France? And if you are the first person to reply on my phone, the number listed below, 888-552-1944. Once again, the first person to answer the question correctly will receive a free t-shirt. And I think that's it. So now we're going to move on to the favorite part of the show. Let's bring on...
Hey baby girl, it's
Not
been
that
a
one.
while.
Sorry about
And
that.
I'm so glad that you could meet me here today.
Okay, something's
There's a
wrong.
few things that's been on my mind. So have a glass of wine. I've got some things to say.
I know y'all was thinking, okay, why is something wrong? But we're going to get it right. We're going to do it now, right now.
There's not a minute,
Okay.
an hour, day, or time.
I guess this is stuck. What's going on here? Okay. What are we going to do it this way then? Okay, Lee, where you at?
Hey, Dr. Dukes, education is the key to expanding open doors and unlocked doors. It is very key for us to teach our young people that we need to read and write and understand, research. A lot of our young people today don't feel that college is the way. They want to be entrepreneurs. But the Bible teaches us that we should teach the children early in the morning and late in the evening. Dr. Dukes, you are a jewel, and you have done such a. I'm just so impressed with just all that you have done and the things you're doing, having mentors in your life. Share that love, share that wisdom, because education, without education, we come a mighty long way from education. Education has brought us from a mighty long way. And I'm just so glad to be here today, to be in front of a legend like yourself. May God bless you and continue to shed light upon the work that you are doing in the community and in our schools. God bless you. Now back to William Stewart.
Lee. Okay. Lee, I know you won't be here next week, so we won't have you on next week, but we will be missing you, and we will be back the following week, correct?
I'll be preaching the gospel on Good Friday. Hey, good God Almighty.
I'll talk to you
Yes,
later.
Lord. Bless you. Feel like hollering right now. Oh, yeah. All right, see you later. God bless you.
Bye. Woo, boy, I tell you, this show. Okay, well, I guess that concludes our show this evening. I want to thank you for watching this program. I'm sorry for the little delay because we had some internet problems, and we have that back on track now. And always remember, it's not about me. It's all about you. Have a nice weekend. Be safe. Until next week, have a good one.